I hope you guys are super excited, just as we are, to have you here with us in our first webinar. First of all, congratulations, because you're officially now part of G20. We're looking forward to meeting you all. For us, it's been a lot of hard work, and it will be hard work to get you here with the best soft landing process ever. So we're working hard on that, on getting your visas, and making sure that everything is right, on track, and on time. So thanks for joining us. I see that we have 10 people connected so far. We would have loved to have a little bit more, but I'm sure that we will make the best of this. So we have Mauricio, we have Panagiotis, we have Nicholas, and we have Purran. So hi guys, how are you all? So our webinar today is pretty much to answer all your questions regarding, first of all, with your soft landing process or with visas, and general questions you might have regarding financial questions, reimbursements, and some of the costs or expenses that you're incurring at this time, at this moment. So we have here with us Jaime, which...
Hi, how are you?
He is an executive accountant.
I'm financial accounting.
Financial accounting. So he's an expert, and he knows, he will have an answer to all your questions. So please make sure that you use this time to make all the questions that you might have. Okay, so maybe he can give a little bit of an introduction.
No,
that's fine. Okay, perfect. On the back, we have Juan Pablo. He's an intern. This is the Las Tarria office. So this is one of the locations that you'll be coming when you have your financial meetings with your executive accountants. But most of the time, as most of you already know, you will be working at the co-works, which are our super cool places where you get to meet all the other generations and alumni as well. So that's the place where you're going to work, where you're going to mingle, and we usually have our webinars in the co-works, but at the moment, co-works are very busy, and it's not such an ideal place to have a quiet time to answer all your questions. But once you get here, you'll see the co-works, and you'll see how awesome they are. So we're gonna start. Does anybody have an incoming question regarding visas? How are your visa processes going? I already started sending your invitation letters. So I think I've sent 10 already. So just so you know, I can only send 5 invitation letters per day, because this is an agreement that we have with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So pretty much the process that we follow is this. Once I get the green light from Foreign Affairs, this means that they've already contacted your consulate of choice, and this is why I wait for their green light, because that means that they will already be expecting that you reach out, fill out the consulate website, and ask for your request for your interview. So this is why it's very important that you wait until I send you this letter, because if I send you this letter, it means that I already had an affirmative answer from your consulates. Okay, and please do not worry, because we've calculated all times in a way that we are making sure that the visa process will be perfect time-wise. So nobody won't be able to get their visas on time. Okay, so we've done this many times. So please be patient and rest assured that you will get your visa in time. Okay. So still no incoming questions. We have 14 people online, but no incoming questions. Something else that I can also tell you that you will be receiving during tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday an email with the contact of your landing buddy. Okay, so your landing buddy is this really cool special person that has voluntarily offered herself or himself to answer your questions as well and be your first contact point with current generations here. This means that even though if you're in Chile, for example, or you are Chilean, we strongly recommend you to use these contacts, because this is pretty much your first opportunity for networking. And people that are already in Startup Chile have made so many new connections in Chile, in the ecosystem. So we really, really strongly recommend that you reach out, and maybe, I don't know, if you can, try to meet up for a coffee, or start contacting by WhatsApp, whatever the best the best media that you want to use. That'll be fine. But this is a really, really good opportunity, and it'll make things a lot easier for you in general during the program. So this will happen tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Okay. So we have an incoming question. I started the process in the Chilean consulate before you send me the recommendation letter. Is this a problem? This will be a problem, because they will ask you for the invitation letter at a given moment. And if you don't have it, then you're going to have to do the process again. So the consequences are not a big deal. You'll just have to fill in the consulate web form again once you have the letter. And pretty much what will happen is, if you don't have the letter, if you don't attach the letter, your request for visa will be rejected, and you will have to do it again with the letter. Now, usually it's pretty straightforward. It's from one day to the next. So this doesn't mean that you will get delayed in the visa process application. So don't worry about that. Okay. Is it mandatory to visit the consulate for interview, or can we send the documents? Okay, so each consulate usually has its own way of doing the process. So it's like, for example, some consulates will ask for certain documents, and other consulates will ask for other documents. This is why it's very important that you read carefully all the instructions given by your consulate of choice regarding the process. Usually, most consulates will ask you for an interview. This means that if you're, for example, applying in a consulate that is not in your hometown, and you have to travel, you will have to probably travel to the consulate and make sure that you do arrangements to stay there for, I don't know, a couple of days. Now, do not worry that if you have to travel, all the costs related to applying to your visa, they will be reimbursed. Okay, so what you have to do, I'm going to pass over now the mic to Jaime. So what you have to do to make sure that you'll get reimbursed, these are the documents, okay?
Tenemos preguntas primero sobre el proceso financiero.
Sí, okay. So first, we have a very specific question. What's the cost of the visa? We're not sure about that, because that also depends on the consulate and on the specific agreement that each country has with Chile. So it's not one specific fee, but I don't think it's more than $50. $50. It shouldn't cost more. Now, again, do not worry about the costs. You will get reimbursed for all the costs associated to the visa process. Yes, it's a reimbursable cost. So this means that it will get deducted from the total grant. Okay, so it will be considered as part of the 25 million Chilean pesos that you're getting. Okay. Okay, so I would like to know if it is possible to hire professional services from abroad. For example, a freelancer that gets paid via PayPal. Okay, so now this is for Jaime.
Okay. Hi guys. In this case, I need the one document, invoice and proof of payment. The proof of payment is PayPal. In this case, I need the transaction details and proof of payment, your credit card. In this case, I need the statement for credit card and payment to credit card for the statement, the debit card. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you, Jaime. If something is not clear or you want us to repeat something, just please send us a quick note and we will do that. So we have a question about health insurance. So health insurance costs that are asked for by the consulate in Greece, will these be covered by the program?
So
So just to make sure, the consulate, the Chilean consulate in Greece, they are requesting that you have a health coverage, because as far as we know, that should be up to you. That should be something voluntary. Now, if this is a demand that the Greek consul, okay, so we're not sure about this. This is.
La voy a consultar. ¿Quién es la persona?
Panagiotis.
Sí, ahí le puedes decir que yo le respondo personalmente ese tipo de preguntas porque son muy específicas.
Okay, so Panagiotis, thank you for your question. Unfortunately, like we said, because each consulate has its own rules, we don't really manage all the rules that they have, but we can find out for you. So we are taking notes of your question and we will get back to you with the answer. As I said before, it's very weird that the consulate is demanding that you have health coverage. This is usually something that we strongly suggest people to do, but it's not mandatory that you have health insurance. So we will find out and we will let you know, okay? So next question. I would like to arrive on the 16th. Will we have a visa by then? Okay, so regarding the timelines of visa, usually once you get your invitation letter, you should calculate up to 5 working days, because this means that as soon as you have your invitation letter, you log onto the website and they already know that they have to give special preference to your application, and it doesn't take more than 5 working days before you have your interview, and during the right after the interview, you will get your visa stamped. So if you want to get here by the 16th, you should be getting your invitation letter 5 days prior to that. Now, there should not be a problem with that, because I think we should finish the visa process requesting next Friday. So that means there should be enough time for you to process your visa. Yes, you will get most likely will get your visa. Now, this case, who's this case? Okay, sorry, just one second. This is a case from IFAT. IFAT, can you please send an email to admissions saying why do you want to arrive the 16th? Did you already purchase your ticket? Tell me a little bit about your situation, and I'll see, and I'll calculate exactly when probably you will get your visa. Okay, thank you. So, next question. There's a sentence on the terms and conditions item 9.2 that says, if none of the participant accounts for salaries for the dedication to the project, it will be possible to also include accommodation. So I guess the question is, Daniel Merch, does this mean that if I pay a salary for at least one team member, I cannot use the budget to pay accommodation?
The TSF, I will approve the
seat.
The seat. Okay.
Okay, so we have here with us Cristobal. Hey, let's give a round of applause to Cristobal. He's also going to be helping us now with your financial questions. He was actually participating in a board, which you will know about pretty soon. So he's also going to be answering our questions. So we have a very specific question now, which says, okay, sorry, I missed that question. Does it mean that if I pay a salary for at least one team member, I don't get accommodation?
Yes. In fact, if you present the expenses for any salary for any team member, you can just present the salary from that moment, just your salary, not the accommodation or the housing cost in this case.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Once in Chile, can I generate the RUN for all of my team, even if any of them will not be in Chile? No. If by RUN you mean like your identity card, no, the person has to be physically in Chile in order to get their proper registration ID. We cannot do the process if the person is not physically here. Okay. Okay, so I missed the question. We have our helper here, and he's gonna.
I saw just how do you get reimbursed for our visa payments?
Okay, so how do we get reimbursed for all the payments done for the visas? That's the question.
Okay, for the visa, you have to present, in fact, that same document stamp from the consulate, and it will have the specific cost that you have paid for that process, okay? There also says our team visa costs will be several $1,000s, okay? Remember that all your team members can present those costs, okay? And as our legal costs, we cannot tell you, okay, let's check a cheaper proposal, for example. Okay, so don't worry. If the costs are the costs that the consulate says, that's what we have to reimburse, okay?
Okay, so do consider, as we said before, that this will be deducted from the total of your original grant, okay? Just so you know, so you consider that. Next question. In the handbook, within lump sum payment, there is a payback as a fifth step. About which payback is it? When the money will be given in advance? Thanks.
Okay, I will explain you the process for the lump sum agreement, okay? First of all, you have to pay for an insurance policy. That insurance policy must be paid in advance before you receive the funds, okay? But that cost can be included in the official budget of your startup, okay? That means that you have to use your personal funds to pay for that for those costs. I don't know if I answered your question. Okay.
Que no la entendía. So Andre, maybe can you rephrase your question? Just give us a quick note there so we can know that we're properly answering you, because we're a little bit confused as if it was clear or not.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for that. So we're gonna continue to the next question. Can we get a local health insurance, or do we need a travel insurance for our entire stay?
Well, for us, the health insurance or travel insurance is basically the same, okay? Here in Chile, we have also some institutions called ISAPRE or FONASA, for example. Those are not insurance companies, okay? Those are like government or private institutions for health, but those costs cannot be included. When you talk about a travel insurance or health insurance, you have to present the documents according to those specific institutions, okay? Not FONASA or not ISAPRE in this case, like it's in Chile. Okay? And can be, those expenses can be done in your original country or here in Chile or wherever, okay? But must be an insurance policy or health insurance policy.
Okay, so sorry, I think we've missed the question, so we have our...
Will it cost for visiting clients in other Latin American countries that the person receiving in Chile be covered?
Okay, so yeah, so the next question is, will costs for visiting clients in other Latin American countries of the person residing in Chile be covered? Would the same apply for team members not residing in Chile?
Yes. You can include, remember that the budget for these expenses is very important because it's related to your objectives, to your goals, okay? In this case, you can include the business travels, okay, to other countries, but just for the official team members, and obviously if they are living here in Chile, okay? So if you as the beneficiary are here, obviously you need to go to Brazil, I don't know, Peru or US. You can include those costs in your budget and potentially can be reimbursed.
Okay. So next question is, what is the idea behind the rule that accommodation cannot be reimbursed with salaries? Aren't they independent events?
Yes, in fact, are independent for sure. But the thing is that according to the terms and conditions, you can use your salary to cover all those expenses like the housing cost, okay? Basically because the document says that, not because we want to do it in that way, okay? So...
and it follows the logic as if you were hired working here in Chile, everybody that earns a salary has to pretty much pay for all their living costs with that salary. So yeah, that's the whole idea behind that. I have a development team in India. Can I pay their salaries with the amount we get? Their salaries will be paid in India. What details are required?
Okay, if that person or those team members are not in the application, you can present their salaries, okay? In those cases, they are going to be classified as outsourcing. And in that case, you have to be very careful because you have the limit of 3.5 trillion million pesos, okay? If you present more than that per provider, you will need to present 3 quotations or proposals from different providers, okay? But yes, you can potentially include those costs if they are not official team members, remember.
Okay, so can some of our team members come with a tourist visa? For our Mexican team member, the work visa costs 300 USD, but for our 2 UK members, it costs 1,500 USD each. Thanks. So no. If these okay, so if the persons that you that are in your application as team members, they cannot come with a tourist visa. They should. But wait, are these team members coming with you now, or will they be joining you later? Because if they are coming with you now, they have to come with a working visa. Otherwise, they won't be able to get paid here, and they won't be able to participate in the program. So they have to have a working visa. I'm sorry, but you won't be able to save money in visas in that way. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so we have a next question. I'll join Startup Chile's program in June, but one of my team members will join in October. Can he get his run in October? Yes, of course. Team members can join later on, and we will help them get their visas as well. And within that process, we will help them get their ID and registration and banking if it's necessary. So it won't be a problem if team members join further down the program. That's fine. Okay. Ideally, yeah. Okay, so Andres, let us know if it's not clear, and we can give you a further explanation on that. Okay, so we don't have any other incoming questions at the moment. I guess, I don't know if somebody wants to, do you want to give a general tip or?
Yeah, guys, well, you are going to receive this information also in the webinars that you are going to have with your future account executives, but it's a constant recommendation for all the generations. Remember to read the terms and conditions, because sometimes you read the document and you don't understand a specific point. Please, if you have a question about that, just let us know. Send us an email, and if you need to read it more than one time, please do it, okay? It's not an easy document to understand, so please try to read it more than one time and make all the questions that you can have, okay? I think that we have more questions.
Yes, we have more questions. So can I just pay team member salaries if they have a visa, even though they are not working in Chile? Okay, so we're gonna try to explain here. There are 2 different types of people that will be working with you as a team leader. There are your team members, which are the persons that are written down in your application, and there are employees. Okay, so if people are written down in your application as team members, they cannot get salaries if they don't come to Chile. So you won't be able to pay them if they're not coming to Chile. On the other hand, you have the other figure of employees. So if you want to hire someone that is not in Chile, but he is not your team member, you will be able to pay him as an outsourced person, as Cristobal explained before. So I don't know if does this clarify things for you, Daniel? If not, please just type in another note and we'll dig in further. Okay, Nicolas, if paid 2 salaries for outsourcing, can I use the budget to pay for accommodation?
Yes, because outsourcing is not the team member's salary, okay? Remember that. As Trini says there are employees, team member salaries, and the outsourcings. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So Venezuela, there has been a foreign exchange control for 15 years that prevents individuals from obtaining foreign currency. Is there any possibility of progress before leaving Venezuela?
That's a very hard question. Okay, we here in Chile have a lot in startup Chile have a lot of startups from Venezuela. Okay, and they have a very good development. Okay, the currency rate is a very big problem for us. Okay, we have to handle that situation in different ways depending of the period of the year. In fact, okay. So for those specific questions, I think that we can handle it with your executive in this case directly, or you can just write us to check how can we help you with those cases, okay? But yes, it's a very hard situation.
And I also think that Jose Andres wants to know if it is possible to receive money before they come here.
Receive money before they... sorry.
I think, I don't know, maybe it's both questions.
No, sorry, but we just can give you the money as soon as you arrive to Chile, you sign the contracts and you make all the procedures to formalize your project here in Chile and specifically with Corfo.
Okay, so yes, sorry, Jose Andres, but for us, it's legally impossible to give out the grant before your contract is signed. Because we are government, we are completely bound to the terms and conditions given in the application. So I will be traveling now and my team members after a month. So the flight tickets of all three of us will be covered?
If they are team members, yes, okay? Remember that the cost for the visa, the health insurance, the round trip to Chile, can be covered just for your official team members, okay?
Okay, so Ifat, can you explain a little bit more about the limit of the 3.5 million pesos?
Okay, according to the terms and conditions, you have the limit of 3.5 Chilean million pesos for the outsourcings or for acquisitions, okay? If you pay, for example, to a designer 4 million Chilean pesos, in that case, you have to present 3 quotations or 3 proposals from different providers or potential providers, okay? And you have to explain us with some documents, one form, in fact, why you have selected that specific provider and not the other 2, okay? Usually it's the cheaper one, okay? But sometimes you can choose the efficient one or, the one that gives you more specifications for the service, okay? But if you present 3.4 Chilean million pesos, you just can present the proposal of that specific designer or give them more information to the account executive. But in that case, you don't have to present 3 quotations, okay? That works for acquisitions, as I told you, and outsourcings.
Okay, so in the handbook, it is described that there are 2 ways to get the subsidy. One is spend the money of the team and then get reimbursed, and the lump sum agreement, which I understand I need a contract. So I don't know if that's then pay insurance. And then pay an insurance, and with it, Startup Chile gives a pay in advance. Then I spend the money. But the part I don't understand is why do you pay back if you give us a lump sum? Talking about the draw.
Okay, I will explain you all the process, okay? As you said, the reimbursement process means that you are going to use always your personal funds during all the program, okay? And you are going to be reimbursed, according to the calendar or the schedule with your accountant, okay? Sorry, your account executive. On the other hand, we have the lump sum agreement where you receive the money in advance, okay? But remember that to receive the money from Corfo, you must sign the contracts, you must follow all the formal process or the legal process to exist for Corfo, okay? In this moment, you were selected, but now you have to formalize your situation with the government here in Chile. In that case, you are going to use your personal funds to pay for your visa cost, to pay for your travel insurance, for the plane ticket, and some other expenses that you can have, okay? But as soon as you receive the money, The idea is that, for example, if you receive 2 payments of 10 million Chilean pesos, you can use that first payment to reimburse those costs or those expenses that you have made in the initial part of the project, okay? And then you can keep using the remaining money that you have received from Corfo, okay, according to your budget. Okay, that's all the process. That means that you're going to receive the money not in the day one of the project when you arrive to Chile, but very soon. Okay, that's why you have to always keep some personal funds to cover those initial expenses.
Okay, so a question on promotion, publicizing the product or service. Can it be both offline and online and all around the world, like for example, Europe?
Yes. You're talking about the
marketing,
like marketing cost can be included. If that's the question, yes, you can include the marketing cost for Europe, America, Asia, wherever you want to make marketing. Okay.
Just always have in mind that whatever costs you will be doing or you will be, they all have to be approved by whoever is going to be your account executive.
Yeah.
So pretty much what you have to consider is you will present your business plan and your budget and your costing to your executive, and you will run along the whole program with him together. And as long as it makes sense to the objectives of your business plan, then all these actions will be reimbursed and can be considered in the budget.
Yeah, for sure. As Trini says, the budget and the milestone document is very important in this case, okay? Anyway, answering your question, you can include those costs, okay? But those costs or those expenses must be according to your milestone, okay?
If we are using a local company, is there a limit or only if they are outside of Chile?
A local company as an outsourcing, the same limit that as I told you, the 3.5, okay?
Okay, so now we have a...
Sorry, remember that information is very, very clear in the terms and conditions, okay? So I have a lot of questions about that, but guys, remember to read that document before that. Okay?
Can I change team members?
No.
No, sorry. Whatever persons you were you wrote down in the application, that is a completed process and cannot be changed. Can you explain a little bit more of the delivery of the grant by way of advancement payment?
Okay. I will use the case of the generation 19, sorry. For them, they have received 2 payments of 10 million Chilean pesos, okay? As a beneficiary, I arrive to Chile, I have to have my root number, I need to sign the contract with Corfo, and then as soon as I sign my contract with Corfo and I receive the notification from Corfo that my contract is okay, is completely formalized. I mean that with formalized, I mean that it's signed by all the bosses, the heads of Corfo. Then you can pay for an insurance policy. What is the insurance policy? To receive the money in advance, Corfo needs to have a kind of caution, okay? They need to be sure that if you run away with the money, they are going to recover that money anyway, okay? That's why you need to pay for that insurance, okay? And after that, we are going to make all the payment orders, if we can say it in this way. We are going to say to Corfo, okay, guys, they can receive the money, or this person can receive the money. In that moment, you are going to receive the 10 million Chilean pesos. It's not immediate, okay? You're going to take a few days, but you are going to receive the first payment as soon as you finalize all this process. Obviously, remember that you need to have also a Chilean bank account, and you are going to receive support in that process also, okay? But that's all the process. You are going to receive the first payment of 10 million Chilean pesos. Then you are going to start file your expenses. You are going to coordinate with your account executive which expenses you want to present according to your milestone. And as soon as you present those first 10 million Chilean pesos, considering your 10%, you can receive the second part of the budget, the second 10 million Chilean pesos. And it's the same process. You file your expenses and etc. Et
okay, so if a team member travels only a month in August, will he need a temporary visa? If you're planning on paying him, Yes, he will need a temporary visa. If he's only coming here and joining you in a more strategic way, he can come with a tourist visa. I hope that answers the question. Okay, the bank's card, is it a credit card? Should we make a deposit in the account? Once the bank has been processed, is the delivery immediate?
I think, well, when you open the Chilean bank account here in Chile, you are going to receive a credit card because it's included in the services of the bank, okay? But you're going to have a cuenta corriente, like a saving account, okay? After that, you are going to have a bank account to receive the funds. But remember that you must also need to have your contract done, your insurance policy done, and all that process, okay? If I am answering your question,
I have 6 employees in India, so I submit outsourcing expenses for the 6 persons. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. If we choose to go with a lump sum agreement, could you give us an estimate of the insurance cost?
The insurance cost is approximately $400, okay?
Is there any reception logistics at the airport transportation? No, Andres. O sea, no, Jose, sorry. No, there is not. You will have to find out for yourself. We would love to provide that kind of service. Unfortunately, we're a very small team and our workload is pretty big. So no, but what we will do is, as I said at the beginning, we will get you in touch with your landing buddy, which is a person that is here in Chile participating in the program. And he will be more than happy to provide all that kind of information as to like what is the best form of the best way of moving in Chile, how does public transportation work, how do you get your VIP card to move in the subway. So the idea of your landing buddy is that he can provide you with all this kind of information, okay? So do make sure that you make the best of this connection. Okay, so how is the amount limit for each team member as a salary?
Okay, the limit is 700,000 Chilean pesos. That is also in the terms and conditions.
Yes, we have a question that we've already answered, but we will answer again. Are marketing and communication costs included?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. When I arrive in Chile, I'd like to hire a local PR and salesperson. Is there a cap for salary when hiring locals?
No, in fact, in those cases, it's very, very important to check like the experience, the CV of the person, but you have to check those costs with your account executive as soon as you check your milestone document.
So yeah, in that case, Israel, of course that you don't want to overpay someone because that doesn't make sense to you, to your budget. So of course, we strongly recommend that you find out what is the market payments for that person, and there will be people there here to guide you in that.
That's the same evaluation that we made, so
exactly.
have to do it in advance.
Are there any requirements for the documentation to be considered as a cost that is covered from Startup Chile? ¿A qué documentos deben presentar?
En Startup Chile.
Que tiene que ser más específico.
Sí, sorry, I need more specific because.
So, Nicolas, can you give a little bit more information regarding
the financial process?
Yeah.
So, well, usually, do you mean be reimbursed? How can you be reimbursed with a certain cost? Okay, so just write us a note and we'll get back to you. Ifat, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. If we need a developer and the development costs 5 million pesos, is it considered outsourced? What do we do?
Yes, if you outsource that service, that means that you're going to work just once with that person. You need to present 3 proposals from different providers, okay? And we have to check that you are, you have to explain us why you are choosing that specific developer and not the other 2. But yes, in that case, you have to present 3 quotations.
Okay, so Andre, is there any service like law and accounting from Startup Chile which will be provided to us? Do we need to pay for it?
Not directly. You are not going to receive those services, but you can check the perks of the program, and there, you can find a lot of providers of accountants, lawyers, and other companies that can give you this kind of services, okay, and have experience with other startups and are very helpful.
Can you contract externally these kind of services?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, then again, you don't want to incur in costs that will go against your budget. So
Exactly.
if it's advice that can be provided with the least cost, then of course that we will recommend that. Is there a tool to register all the invoices? If not, any suggestions on how to have everything organized to present to our AEs? Any special formats? How do we present them? Digitally or physically?
The documents must be present physically, okay? For the financial process, you must fill a document called expenditure statement, okay? You're going to receive that document after the financial workshop in a few weeks. But with that document, you can register all the expenses that you have. And then with your executive, you are going to check the documents of those expenses. Remember, that is very, very important. We have the budget, that's most like the strategy that you have, the financial strategy with your objectives. And then we have the expenditure statement that shows the expenses that were done. For example, the plane tickets to arrive to Chile. And then you have to present the physical documents. Unfortunately, we don't have a digital support or digital process in this moment, okay?
Okay, so can the airline ticket be bought from any airline other than a Chilean one? Yes, of course. You can buy. Then again, it's your money, so make the best of it.
Yeah.
Try to get the cheapest ticket you can. What happens if we do not exhaust our total grants during the 7 months of the program?
If you don't use the complete money, you have to return the money that was not used. Simple.
Can you explain more about the 10% participation of the grant?
Okay. Sorry. Sorry, I will use the example of the generation 19 because I don't have the exact amount. Let me check the terms and conditions. Usually the budget of the projects in total were of 22,222,222. Okay, that means that you have to present, for example, in 2 financial meetings, 11,111,111, and the second one is the same amount. Okay, that means that in the first financial meeting you have to present the 90% of the money that you have received from Corfo, the 10 millions, and the 1,111,111. That is your contribution. Okay, the 10% from your part. In that case, we have the 100% of your budget. The 10% of your contribution are your expenses. Okay, it's also included in your budget. Sorry, for your generation, the total budget is 27,777,778. Okay, we have to make the maths, but that's the complete amount. Okay, remember that as I told you, the expenses that you have to file or the money considered as your contribution are expenses. You don't have to make a kind of bank transfer or something like that. You have to make expenses. Igual en ese monto. Yeah, that fits with that amount. Yeah, you have to make expenses to complete that amount, the 2 million and a bit more. Okay, it's a bit complicated. Okay, it's not so easy. Okay, maybe I show you in the financial workshop, you can have a better idea of how to present the expenses. Okay, with words it's not so easy.
Okay, so in that sense, please be assured that there will be a lot more instances where we will be answering your questions. You will have workshops, you will meet up with your account executive. Before you come here, you will be contacted via email with your account executive, so you will be able to ask all these questions as well via email. So please don't get nervous. We're here to help you, and if you have any questions, we will be answering them along the way, okay? So we have one last question. How much money do I need approximate to stay in Chile for the first 45 days? In some documents, it says 3K, and in others, it says 4. 3,000.
It's like a kind. Es como una recomendación.
It's just a suggestion. Of course, it also depends on your living style. But with 3, you should be fine. Okay, so we have one last question. Can we buy a one-way ticket and later when we know the exact return date to buy the return ticket?
Yes, for sure, you can do that. Okay.
But then again, consider that a one-way ticket is usually more expensive. So maybe what you can do is calculate something between 7 to 9 months after the program starts, and maybe get a fare that will allow to change the date. But that will also depend up to you entirely. Please, you just said we can't do bank transfers. What happens if we're paying for development expenses?
Okay, I haven't said that. I said that you don't have to pay 1 million and a bit more to Corfo for your contribution. Okay, that doesn't mean that you cannot pay to a developer, for example, through a bank transfer. You can pay through a bank transfer using debit card, credit card, and some other payment methods. Okay, don't worry about that.
Okay, so we don't have any incoming questions at the moment. So again, remember, we will be holding another webinar with account executives just exclusively for your financial questions. So as we said, do we have a limit for salaries?
Why do we have a limit for salaries? Because it says in the terms and conditions. When you apply, the terms and conditions says 700,000 for all the team members. Okay, guys, those are very basic questions. Okay.
And because we have to set the limit at some point. This is the limit that
information is in the terms and conditions, and for sure we want to pay more, but
exactly.
What can we do in those cases?
So yeah, unfortunately, our resources and the government resources are limited, and we have to make the best. And you will have to make the best with what is given. So that's pretty much the reason.
Yeah, sorry, Daniel.
So yes, no more questions at the moment. So again, thank you guys. Reach out to your landing buddies. If you have any questions that were not answered today, we will be holding another webinar, but you can still use the admissions channel to make all the questions that you still might have. So Daniel says, just wanted to understand.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think that's perfect. Thank you guys for joining. I hope this was helpful. We're really excited. We're looking forward. We know that this is a little bit of there's a lot of uncertainties for you yet. We're trying to make this process as smoother as we can. So yeah, we're super excited. We're happy. It's Friday, so yeah. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's great. It was great to meet you.
We have a last question there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, one last question before we can all go to lunch. So 25 million is Startup Chile contribution, and we have contribute.
CLP. Yes, approximately. Okay, guys, remember that as Trini says, we are going to have more webinars. Okay, to check this financial information that is not too easy to explain. Then you can check it with your account executive. But what you are saying, Puran? Yes, that's the approximate amount. Okay.
So it's 2,500,000 Chilean pesos.
Remember that this is the first generation that received more money since day one. Okay. So yeah, we have new numbers now. We have to change some financial information, but for sure we are going to share the exact one in the future meetings. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.